I'm married to a Korean woman, and we have a small English school. I wanted to ask a question about education. So in our school, we help elementary students learn English. And English is a very difficult topic. It takes years to become proficient. And all of our students would like to be better in English. They know that it's good for them and it can help them achieve their dreams, but it's also very difficult. And in that way, it seems to me it's very similar to Buddhist practice, which can be very long and difficult and sometimes boring. And sometimes we can really want to achieve things, but when it comes to the actual practice, it's hard to maintain motivation. So any advice that you could have for my students and for me to help my students develop that motivation to learn, we'd really appreciate it. And also thank you for making this teaching available to us in English.
잘 들었습니다.
Thank you for your question.
영어 배우는 거하고 수행하고는 좀 다릅니다.
So I think it's a little different, right? Spiritual practice or Buddhist practice and learning how to speak English.
영어 배우는 거는 어려운 일이지만 수행은 아주 쉬운 일이에요.
Because learning English is difficult, but Buddhist practice is really easy.
아이들은 영어가 배우고 싶지 않는데 부모가 배우라 해서 의무로 배우고 있습니다.
So I think the kids probably don't want to learn English, but they have to because their parents make them.
그렇기 때문에 아이들에게는 힘든 거예요.
So I think that's why it's so difficult for the kids.
그러나 수행은 누가 수행해라 이렇게 강제하는 사람이 아무도 없습니다.
But there's no one who is actually making you to undergo spiritual practice.
수행이란 것은 좌선을 한다든지 찬팅을 한다든지 하는 어떤 형식이 아닙니다.
Because spiritual practice is not a matter of form. Neither is it a meditation, it's how you sit or not. It's not.
내가 지금 괴롭다.
I am suffering today.
이 문제로부터 나는 좀 더 자유롭고 싶다.
And so I want to free myself even a little bit from this suffering.
그러면 자유롭고 싶다 하는 것은 자기가 원하는 거예요.
So this is a desire to be free from suffering, right?
그러면 어떻게 하면 자유로워질까?
Then you look for ways to become freer.
그러니까 수행은 반드시 자발적이어야 합니다.
That's why by its very nature, spiritual practice is a voluntary endeavor.
그런데 수련은 조금 다릅니다.
However, a practice is a little different, the way you actually go about doing so.
수련은 결심하고 각오하고 노력해야 하는 겁니다.
Because an activity related to that is something that you have to decide to do, you have to have discipline enough to do it, and you have to follow through.
그러나 수행은 그렇지 않습니다.
However, the actual spiritual training or practice is different.
긴장을 내려놓고
It's a matter of loosening your tension
마음을 편안하게 가지고
and developing some equanimity
지금 무엇이 문제인가
and looking into yourself and asking the question, what's the problem today?
이렇게 탐구하는 겁니다.
It's almost an investigation into yourself.
알아차린다 이렇게 표현합니다.
It's being enlightened to something.
그러니까 자기가 뭐가 문제다 하면 제가 약간 도와줄 수 있습니다.
So if you tell me what the actual problem you might be facing is, then I can help you guide yourself through a certain answer.
만약에 아이들이 영어 공부하는 것이 힘듭니다 하는 것은 제가 도와줄 수가 없어요.
But if you ask me how do I make English less difficult for the kids, I can't really help you.
아이들이 영어 공부하는 것을 힘들어하는 모습을 보면 나도 힘듭니다 하면 제가 도와줄 수 있어요.
But if you ask me, I'm actually having issues. I'm having emotional difficulty watching the emotional difficulties of the kids trying to learn English. Then I can help you.
I guess my question in that sense then is, as a teacher, I feel responsible to help my students, all of my students, not just the students who are interested or the students who understand easily, but all of them. And I feel that a lot of some of my students are made to come by their parents, but a lot of them do have a real interest in learning. And when they struggle to maintain their motivation because they're so busy and they have so many things to do, how is it that is there any advice that you could offer me to to help these kids who are overworked and probably should be out playing instead of sitting in my classroom, to help them achieve the things that they want to achieve.
아이들에게 물어봐야 합니다.
So I asked the kids,
정말 영어를 배우기를 원하니?
do you really want to learn English?
오케이 하면 그러면 해보자 이러면 되고요.
And if he says okay, then let's try it together.
전 사실은 싫어요. 엄마가 하라 그래요. 이러면 그럼 하지 마라 이렇게 말해야 돼요.
And if the kid says, I don't really want to learn English, my mom's making me do it, then you should just go ahead and say, you know what, you don't have to.
언제든지 너가 하고 싶을 때 와라.
But you're always welcome to come back when you really want to.
두 번째, 제가 하고 싶어 합니다.
But second, if the kid says, I really do want to learn English,
그런데 하고 싶어는 하는데 노력은 적게 하고 빨리 배우고 싶다 하는 거는 욕심이에요.
but if the kid wants to put in a little effort, but wants to learn a lot, that's a little bit of greedy.
그러니까 아이가 영어를 배우는 게 힘드는 게 아니라 노력은 적게 하고 빨리 배우고 싶은 게 안 돼서 힘드는 거예요.
So it's not that he's having difficulty or English by itself is difficult as an alien language. It's the kid's desire to put in less effort than is required to attain certain proficiency. It's that conflict that's making it difficult for him.
자전거를 처음 타는 너가 만약에 자전거를 처음 탄다면 타고 싶다고 바로 타지는 게 아니란다.
First of all, if you're learning how to ride a bike first, then just because you want to ride it doesn't mean you can ride it the first time, on a bike.
연습을 해야 한다.
You have to practice,
많이 넘어질 거다.
and you'll fall down a lot.
넘어지기 때문에 못하는 게 아니라 많이 넘어질수록 점점 타지는 쪽으로 가고 있는 중이야.
Falling down does not mean that you will never learn how to ride a bike. It's actually a way to learn how to ride a bike.
너가 막 틀리는 것을 너가 너무 신경 쓰지 마라. 말을 하다 보면 너가 태어나서 사용한 모국어가 아니기 때문에 너가 영어를 하면 틀리는 게 너무 당연하단다.
So likewise, falling down or saying the wrong things in English is an obvious and natural part of learning the language, and this is what you should explain.
안 틀리려고 그러면 말을 안 하는 수밖에 없다.
If you want to be perfect in English, then you should stay silent.
말을 하면 틀리게 돼 있다.
Because if you speak English, then you'll make mistakes.
틀리는 거를 자연스럽게 받아들여라.
So try to convince that mistakes are a natural part of learning a language.
틀리는 것이 발견되면 고치면 된다.
Because mistakes can be corrected.
이렇게 편하게 접근해라.
And have a more of a relaxed approach to learning the language.
빨리 배우고 싶다고 빨리 배워지는 게 아니란다.
Because it's not something that you can hurry up and learn.
이렇게 오히려 마음을 편안하게 해줘야 합니다.
It's the approach, more of a tranquil approach to learning. That's important.
나도 한국에 와서 10년이나 살았는데
Because I've been here 10 years
나
in
한국말 잘
Korea,
못해.
and I still have issues with Korean.
나는 한국에 와서 사는데도 잘 못하는데 너는 한국에 살면서 영어를 잘한다. 이건 쉬운 일이 아니야.
Right? So I have trouble learning Korean, although I'm immersed in the culture for 10 years. For you to learn English while being in Korea, it's a very difficult thing.
그래서 이것을 심리적으로 부담을 갖지 않도록 도와줘야 합니다.
So in essence, try to lessen the mental burden the kid has in learning the language.
내가 해줄 수 있는 게 이게 첫 번째고요.
I think that's the first step.
두 번째는
The second,
이제 자기가 한국 아이들이 조금이라도 쉽게 배울 수 있으려면 어떻게 하면 될까 하는 거는 연구를 계속 해 나가야 합니다.
it's really up to you to try to find the best way for you to craft the easiest way for kids to learn English.
그러니까 외국어를 배운다는 것은 어렵다 하는 것을 전제하고 그러나 필요하기 때문에 배운다 이렇게 접근하면 쉬운데 외국어를 배워야 한다는 그 생각 때문에 빨리 배우고 싶기 때문에 이게 힘드는 거예요.
The fact that, by acknowledging that learning a foreign language is difficult and you want to learn despite that and pace yourself despite that, that should be the right approach instead of having to learn a foreign language out of necessity and trying to hurry up and learn it.
Thank you.